Okay, folks. Hey, Roland Martin here, and here it is, a hot summer day, a little breezy, a little overcast, and I'm going to try some fishing. I'm going to probably start off with some frogs, probably go to some flipping. It's a little breezy today, but hey, I can handle it with this boat. I'm all set up, but I got a good, powerful trolling motor, and the wind's my friend, so I'm gonna enjoy it. But I'm gonna start off with the frog, and then go to some flipping. So let's get started. Okay, let me back out here and we'll try it. Here at Headwaters Lake, they have a beautiful ramp. It's just gorgeous, and it's a 10,000 acre lake. It's an old farm field complex. The Headwaters is a 10,200 acre complex. It's an old set of farm fields that Fellsmere Farm had donated to the state of Florida for some tax write-offs. Anyway, it's just full of bass, and the main thing about the lake is plenty of vegetation. And one of the problems we have here in Florida is that on some of the lakes, like Okeechobee, they've done so much spraying and elimination of weeds, particularly hydrilla and some of the better weeds, that the fishing's not as good as it could be. But here, they haven't controlled the hydrilla. The hydrilla is plenty, is real profuse. Plus, there's a lot of hyacinths as well. So all those weeds kind of help for the bass fishing. So as you'll see today, we're going to try a combination of lures. We'll try maybe a frog to start with, but I think the main emphasis is probably going to be pitching and flipping. And I'll show you my technique for that. This is just the first segment, and the second segment of the show, I'll be fishing with different people in different areas. So, but for right now, let's get started. Head on out of here. Well, okay, I'm out here to my pitching and flipping water, and let me just approach here, and I'll show you. I'll put the power poles down in just a second, but I'm just going to come up to this mat here just as soon as I can, and I'm going to get close to the mat, and I'm going to run the trolling motor slow and easy, and I got the power poles ready to go. So as soon as I get close, or I can get close enough to pitch and flip, I'll put the power poles down. Okay, we're almost close enough, and the power poles are going down in just a second. Okay, I'm going to put the power poles down. The power poles are going down. Okay, boom. Stop the boat. Now, let me just show you the rig I have. The rod I use is my favorite, but it's also made by the Favorite Corporation, and it's the Pro Series that my son Scott and I, along with Andy Morgan and a whole bunch of guys, we got together and designed a Pro Series for Favorite. And anyway, this is rigged up. I have 1.5 ounces, that new Spro weight, with a 4/0 hook. I think I might even have the hook. I just show you that hook. It's a Gamakatsu. It's a flip and punch hook, and it's really heavy duty. It's just designed exclusively for tournament grade, and it's just the strongest, thinnest wire you've ever seen, and it's this thick. It's just like a surgical steel wire. It's really good. Okay, now there's two ways to approach the flipping and pitching aspect, and let me explain it just real quick. When I pitch, I hold the line right here and I pitch it like that. That's pitching. That's a pitch. I usually stand up. So a pitch is you take the line and the lure in your hand and press the button and pitch it. Okay, that's pretty good. But there's also the flip, and the flip is kind of different. It's you have the rod like this, and you push the button, and look, you take your left hand, and now you just swing it out there like that. Now the advantage of flipping is that it's a quieter presentation, but the disadvantage of flipping is it's just your short range. So if you want to go long range, you got to pitch. For short range, I can flip. I can come right in like this and flip right down there. let it down to the bottom. And now you notice, oh, that first daggone time I'd flipped in there, I had a bite. I think it was a bluegill. I was going to tell you that the first time down is usually the best time. Huh. I had a little bite the first flip. Now you notice I have the rod. If you notice the rod is kind of anchored in my side here. That was a bite. I'll try that again. Now there's a combination of hyacinths and hydrilla, and there's kind of like caverns underneath that hydrilla. And now I'll go a little farther, I'll pitch it. See, like that? I'll pitch it like that, and I kind of wiggle it down, let it down a little bit, down. I only jig it, when I do this in this heavy cover, I'm only really jigging it 4, 5, or 6 times. It's the initial cast in there. Okay, I flip it down there, okay, let it down to the bottom. And just a couple, 3 or 4 or 5 slight jigs like that. Now see this water, even though it looks real shallow, let me just show you how deep it is. It's not, it's deeper than you think. See right there, that's the depth of it right there. So it's 4 feet deep. Well, it's as deep as it's chest deep right here. So that's all really good. Okay, let me pitch in here. Again, I can do a quieter presentation with a flip. I can flip it like that and real solid and real stealthy. And I get it in position, I'm ready to set the hook right away. Ready to set the hook right away. Now if it's for a longer pitch, I'll pitch it like that. Get it through there. Okay. There we go. I think no, maybe I didn't get him. Maybe I got him. I got him. I set the hook, and I didn't know if I had him or not. I felt the strike, and then I just didn't feel him. That's the thing about this heavy tackle. You pull them into that heavy cover, you don't know what's going on. But they're not all big. You know, you catch some small ones too. But anyway, that's a different worm that time. A different setup. Okay. It's just a little bitty tap. It's not much of a bite when even a big one. It's just a kind of a small tap. And I'll just have to come in here and small tap. Any tap you feel, you better set the hook, because it could be a big one. Could be a big one. Could be a real big one. Oh, got one there. I got one there. Okay. I was wheeling it up. I was getting it up out of the stuff, and he hit it coming up. Nice solid fish. Nice solid fish. Nice good one. That's just a little tournament fish. It's not anything real special, but hey, it's representative of what you catch. You know, you catch bigger fish, with these crawl worms. You just do catch bigger fish. Catch bigger fish. And I'm get that thing all set up. And again, they're not on the bottom. They're coming up mid-depth. That's the second one I've caught up out of the stuff. So what I'm doing, I'm coming in and they're underneath it. They're underneath it. Okay, let's see if I can't just get one out of here. Oh yeah, I got him. I got him, son. I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him, son. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Big old bass like that. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Big old giant 7 or 8 pounders. Hey, just jacking them out of the heavy cover like this. That's what we're talking about. And you know what I did on that one? I dropped it down, and it's about 6 feet deep here. So instead of going all the way to the bottom, I just went a little ways down, and that's what paid off. Big old giant bass in the 6 and 7 pound class. Wow, what a fish. That's really, really a good one. That's what we're talking about, folks. I'm gonna let him go to be caught again another day. Just a beautiful bass. Okay, let me get all squared away here and explain just what I'm doing. Oh, son, that's something else. Basically, I'm using 1.5 ounce and 2 ounce weights, a small crawl worm, and I'm coming up to these areas, and I'm just, that last one was so characteristic. I dropped it down, and I only went down a little ways, about 1 foot underneath the mat, and just held it. And boy, he hammered it. He hammered it. So that's a real big deal. He hammered it. I had a real tight drag on that reel. These favorite reels, they'll really put a good drag on. I mean, it's like a 20-something pound drag. Real good one. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. As good as it gets, son. I got one. I got one. I got one. I got a big one. I got one. Okay, there we go. That's the kind of bass we're talking about. That's the kind of bass we're talking about, folks. Big old bass like that one. That's a flipping fish, and that's exactly what I did. He was right at the edge of the hyacinths, and he just hammered that thing. And that's the second big one I've hooked today, and that one there is about a 6 pounder, but he was really a nice one. And he hit, actually I lifted it off the bottom just a little teeny bit, and he hit it. And so of course I set the hook, and I didn't have too much trouble getting them out because I got heavy tackle, heavy line. But that's the kind of fish, and I've only fished, okay, I've only fished a little while today, but I've got two real good ones to bite. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop him back in the water. Yeah, nice one. Okay, let's So let's talk about what we're doing here. This is we're in a good spot, and I will show you this rig setup. Okay, first of all, I have my 65-pound test braid, and then I have two little bobber stops. You know these little things right here? These are little rubber things you slide on your line, and what these bobber stops do is they keep the weight from sliding up the line. So that's the 1.5 ounce weight. Now this is the nice thing about the Gamakatsu weights is it says right on there the weight is. It says 1.5 ounces. If you notice, you can see the 1.5 ounces, and that's really cool. And it's a special surgical steel hook that's really, really strong. Okay, and I have a snell knot, and then I have a small crawworm. This is kind of a small crawworm. Okay, I'll slide it all down onto the weight, and I was just basically pitching into this area here, and I'll just place like this. I just drop it down, and I had to be ready for the. I'm kind of in here now, and it kind of scares them for a second, but in a second, if you stay here a little while like this, it's in a good spot because we just caught a big one. So we can go ahead and just kind of stay right here for a second. See what happens. That's two big ones. Two big ones in about a half an hour, or about 20 minutes actually. So that's not bad. They're not deep. There's one. I got him. I think I got him. I had him. I got him. Another big one. Another big one, son. Look at this guy. Another giant. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. Another giant bass. He was right at the top. Big old 6-pounder. Son, 6 or 7 pounds. He's a good one, son. I'm telling you what, these fish are biting. You know, it's a flipping bite is so precious, because now I've had 5 or 6 really quality fish to hit today. I could have had about 30 pounds of bass had I caught them all, but I've caught 3 or 4 nice ones, really good ones, 5, 6, 7 pounds, just like this one. What a beautiful bass. Whoo, son. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, big old 6-pounders like this, that's a beautiful fish. Drop them back in the water. And let me get my rod all squared away again. This rod is just, he was hung up, and I had to pull him out of some heavy stuff, but I got him, and I got him really good. Okay, there we go. I got one, small one. I'll tell you what, folks, it's just a small one. It's not much of a fish. Hey, but I've caught some nice bass today. I've landed 3 big ones and lost 3 big ones, and I caught half a dozen small ones as well. So I've really had a successful day. So if you want to learn how to catch some really good fish, whether it's summertime or wintertime, in the heaviest, thickest cover that you can find, hey, pick up a big old flipping stick, get a big old heavy duty weight like this, 1.5 ounce to 2 ounce weight. Get some good flipping hooks, 65-pound test line, and find yourself some thick hydrilla, some thick matted up stuff. You could be Connecticut, you could be California. You'll always find matted up stuff to fish, where beavers have cut trees down, where a bunch of lily pads have grown in. All these things are good to flip. So anyway, I hope I've taught you a few things about how I do it, and how I hold the rod, and how I set the hook, and how I prepare for it, how I be quiet. I do all the things like that really kind of pay off in the long run. Hey, it's a winning combination. So if you want to catch some really good fish all year round, pick up that flipping stick. We'll see you again soon, and thanks for watching.